All right. Hello, everyone from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is ASE the Pair, and as usual, I am joined by olddirtyh.
Hello, hello.
And we're supposed to have Phantom here too as a guest commentator, but I'm not really sure where he is. I think he's having some technical difficulties, unfortunately. Um, do have a fun one for you here. I'm on the wrong tab. Oops. Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so let's take a look at the divisions today. So we are going to be casting Dirty's Angels versus Old Papi Nutz. Both teams are 2-0, so that means the next win, whichever team wins, can get into the top eight. As we know, once you get 3 wins, you're automatically into the top eight. Because both teams are 2-0, just because one team wins and the other one loses doesn't mean the losing team is out of contention for top eight. They still can make it into the top eight. Depending on tiebreakers or if they win their next match, of course. And so both these teams are pretty special because Oldie, you're part of Papi Nutz, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah, so you've got a lot riding on the line for this. And then, of course, Dirty's Angels is the team that the tournament organizer, Connor McDavid, is a part of. So definitely two very strong teams. Let's take a look at the players and nations here. Oh, okay. We are lagging a bit. I don't really know why. Bear with me for 1 second, folks. We are doing a minor lag here.
Phantom there? I think he's here. Phantom, you're in the house?
Hey, I am. How's it going?
Hi.
What's up, dude?
All right.
Finally made it.
Yeah, welcome. For some reason, my video seemed to be a little laggy for a moment, but it seems to have bounced out. Welcome, Phantom. As a guest.
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. Good to have you.
Yeah, nice to have you. We were just briefly going over the matchup here. I was about to say the team. So on the side of Old Papi Nutz, we've got olddirtyh, Rui, Nutz, and the Verkman. And again, they are playing against Dirty's Angels with Connor McDavid, Henry, Rich Panini, and G.I. John. What do you two think about this matchup, on paper at least?
I think it's pretty balanced for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think we complement each other well. We played a lot of games. I think Rich is out, so I don't think he's been playing recently. So, but that said, Connor and Henry play a lot together. John's improved quite a bit, so it's a good matchup.
Yeah. Oldie, tell me that these are 3v3 matches, please.
Of course they are.
Oh, bless.
I wouldn't have it.
Okay.
If it was up to me, we go 4v4. But, there's too many.
Was that just the rule that no one followed, or?
Pretty much, man.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 3v3, but then Lat can't schedule, and IND tries to cheat and everything else. So,
yeah.
But anyways,
so for the bans of each nation, so Dirty's Angels has banned for their opponents Lakota, Iroquois, and Aztecs. So Old Papi Nutz cannot pick Lakota, Iroquois, or Aztecs. On the other side, Old Papi Nutz have banned Japanese, British, and Greeks for their opponents. So Dirty's Angels cannot pick Japanese, British, or Greeks. These are pretty standard bans. Aside from, I think, the Iroquois ban, we actually haven't seen that one in a while. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about Iroquois as a nation in this 3v3 format?
no, Iroquois is strong. I mean, especially with more advanced players, Iroquois can be deadly. Those heavy infantry rates early. The extra food bonus, you can be really fast. So it totally makes sense why they would ban that. Playing a more, higher level team.
Yeah. All right. So I guess before we jump into today's game, we are going to talk about the nations quickly. If you like the Nordic Classic and you like supporting the stream and you want to help out and contribute to the prize pool, there is a prize pool donation here. It's on the GoFundMe right on the front page of the tournament information website, and it's also in the YouTube description below. If you want to help out, we would really appreciate your donations. So far, the donors are El Cypher, Wizard of War, Kron, PLA, Jatin, Bybrak, this anonymous person is Connor, and Bob. Thank you to all who donated. We really appreciate it. Adding to the tournament pool just makes things a little bit more exciting for the viewers and players. So we're really thankful to everybody who has donated. All right. Well, okay. So, Phantom, do you have the replays?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it on my computer right now. I have it on my phone.
Okay. All right. No worries. Yeah, you know where to get them in, right? It's in like documents, my games, Rise of Nations, and then there you go. All right, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to Rise of Nations. All right.
And we can just start talking about the map nations matchup a little more while Phantom's loading.
Yeah. All right. So this is Dirty's Angels versus Old Papi Nutz game number 1. Phantom, you can just catch up when we get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're ready, just tell me, and I'll tell you what timestamp we're at. All right. All right. Oldie, I'm at 1 second when you are.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So it looks like we are on Old World, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Old World. All right, so let's take a look at the players and their nations. On the side of not Nordic Classic, what am I saying? On the side of Dirty's Angels, we have Ryuk, Henry, and this Nordic Classic person is Connor McDavid. And they're playing.
Ryuk is G.I. John.
Yeah, G.I. John, yeah. And then they're playing against Old Papi Nutz, who have brought Nutz, the Furkman, and Rui. So, Oldie, it looks like you were left out for this game.
Yeah, I got benched for this one.
Anyways, nations-wise, so we see G.I. John or Ryuk with Nubians, Henry with Lakota, and Connor with Spanish. And they're against Nutz with Nubians, the Furkman with Dutch, and Rui with Germans. Oldie, were you part of the picking process for this first game?
I'm not, but I do love that Spanish Laco Nubian from Connor's team is really awesome.
That's disgusting.
It's really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see Rui was pretty frustrated that Lakota didn't get banned. So fair enough, right? Lakota, Spanish, Nubian, it's about the sick of a combination that you can put together. German's always strong. Nubians, pretty good. Dutch, a little bit weaker, but Furkman likes using them. He likes the boom. So I guess that was the process there.
Yeah, I guess
definitely the edge in nations to Dirty's Angels for sure.
Yeah, this is a really so for viewers who don't know, this is a really, really fearsome combination. Spanish they can see the whole map, they can see all the rares, and that makes Lakota easier to scout easier and put down their cities very easily. And then obviously Nubians benefit a ton from being able to see rares, being able to figure out where to send the merchants, that first merchant or two, which is really, really important. But I wouldn't count Old Papi Nutz out. Germans are a really excellent nation. If Nutz can get some nice rares in their territory, it can work out nicely. And I'm not super in love with Dutch. I think they're one of the worst nations. But maybe the Furkman has some sneaky strategies like that early caravan raid that we see some players employ on the higher with higher skills. So we'll have to see. Let's take a look at where the players have spawned. On the bottom side, we have the blue German player Rui, and just kidding. On the top side, in the pocket, we have the Furkman, the green Dutch player, and then on the right side we have the yellow Nubians player Nutz. And so Nutz is facing off against Connor McDavid, who is the red Spanish player. And in the pocket, there's Henry with the Lakota player, the light blue Lakota player, and the orange Nubians player, Ryuk or G.I. John, on this side. I think it is fortunate. You usually want the Lakota player in the pocket because you don't want the capital exposed, and you just want to be able to sieve that second city somewhere convenient. Because if you're on the wings, you kind of just have to sieve forward. There's no really great spot for you to.
Yeah, it takes away from their power a little bit when they're in the forward. But fortunately, this is a perfect setup. I mean, Connor's a little bit close to Nutz, so that can be trouble. But other than that, everything else is pretty good.
Yeah, let's take a look. I think on this side, I imagine Henry will have to probably sieve over to the left-ish some because we see here Rui is the Germans player, and Germans are quite fast. It looks like G.I. John's doing not a terrible job here. Is using some rares, and there's Bison right in the bottom there, which is great for him.
Yeah, I mean that's about his dream of a situation you can get to be Nubian, just to have Bison chilling right in your territory.
They have just scouted it. Looks like G.I. John wasn't actually using that many rares early on because it looks like there weren't that many rares nearby. But now is going to use Bison, which is obviously an excellent rare and should have a pretty fast library time. Let's take a look at the ruins counts for a moment here. So it looks like G.I. John has the lowest and Henry has the most, being the Lakota player, and everybody else has 3 of 5, which is pretty standard.
It's G.I. John, man.
Yeah, those are low runes, only 25.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot of times for Nubian players. They just get a little greedy with the boom, so they'll still kind of neglect. And in this situation, also they have Spanish and Lakota. He really, he's probably just like whatever on the scouting. So
Looks so far like Lakota has the ultimate advantage here. Horse, Silk, are all in the middle, wide open, no one's around. So
yeah, we do see here Henry has already gotten Commerce 1. Not going to go for that Science 1 build, but Commerce 1 instead. Okay, so Phantom, I'm at 438, just FYI.
Sure.
And I might, I think you might get ahead because we have seen that sometimes with our guest commentators, they get a little bit ahead. But we'll just periodically check in. Yeah, let's talk about rares, as you said. So for the old Papi Nutz on this side, we've got silver for in the back left here near Rui's capital. There's peacocks, which the Nubians player is already using, and the Nubians player is actually going for mill 1. I'll talk about that in a little bit. While we continue looking at rares here, they've got obsidian as well as papyrus in the top and salt over there as well. And that's kind of it for safe rares, at least. In the center, there's horses and silk, as well as silver over there, and amber and gems. But those are all pretty easily capturable by the Lakota player, who can just sieve there very easily.
Yep.
On the other side, they've got the team of what do you call it? Dirty's Angels. There we go. Sorry, Dirty's Angels. They've got access to Bison, an awesome rare for the Nubians player. They've got gems, tobacco, and on the right side they've got wine, as well as spice, which is kind of contestable in Connor's position. Now let's go back to what I was talking about earlier, an early mill from Nutz here. As the Nubians player skipped Commerce 1, going for an early mill with putting out 2 hoplites already. And Nutz says
red justice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nutz says the Lakota player has milled 1, but I'm not sure how he scouted that. I guess just figured by the lack of city placement. There is a tower going up in the back here next to Papyrus for Henry. Nice choice there. It's going to be really annoying to get rid of that tower later on. Let's see. It looks like there's not quite a barracks yet. These hoplites are going to find some damage. Going to take out this spice merchant from Connor. Connor has gone for Civic 1. Let's see if he can get up a city or not, or it has to be delayed extensively. Where's the other unit? Oh, the other hoplite is heading to the wood camp in the back, and it looks like Connor's going to be in trouble. Is there a unit from Henry to protect?
I don't see anything yet.
I don't see anything. He does have mill, but there's no citizen to build a barracks. These hoplites are going to be really annoying.
He milled the tower Papi. If you see there's Papi at the top,
yeah.
So he's dropped tower there. So that's what the point of the mill was for that, I think.
Yeah.
Just eliminate Papi.
Yeah, this raid's going to be good. Already killed a single citizen. Might get this one. But this has been quite a good raid from Nutz here. I would like to see him go Commerce 1 and just get that income up a little higher, because this is a really excellent raid. It's clear that Connor doesn't have mill quite yet. Henry is going to get a barracks. It's on the top side, which is a solid position. But this raid has been really annoying for Connor. Connor's not doing the greatest job microing the citizens out of the city anyways. These citizens are just kind of sitting in there. Finally lets them out. And we do see a bowman being queued up for Henry here. Looks like
Henry's about to save Connor's butt.
Yeah, definitely.
Very lucky.
That bowman gonna help out a lot. And I don't really like this hoplite choice. I think a slinger or another bowman would be better, but whatever, it's acceptable. We do see here Nutz is gonna go for Commerce 1. And oh, this city's actually the Ferkman city. Sorry, I didn't realize. But the Ferkman has cived on that side. The Germans player is actually cived to the side. How do you feel about this? Rui civing to the right of Berlin as opposed to forward, which we would typically expect. How do you feel about this choice?
Well, I think maybe he's just trying to secure this mountain. You got these two big mountains here. I mean, he doesn't really need them, but I mean, well, he's gonna lose it anyways to this Lakota.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess maybe he just thought the Lakota was gonna come somewhere in the middle like this, which they're doing.
Yeah. There is gonna be a second barracks for Henry.
Yeah.
The top light's just being annoying. This temple's this is an optimistic temple. I think you should just cancel it and put down a barracks.
Yeah. And you see Henry's economy is doing pretty well. He needs to get his gold up.
Yeah, this caravan kind of just sitting here. Connor says I'm behind. I would agree, because Connor has taken a bit of economic damage early on. Can put down that second city. Not sure where he's going to put it down exactly. I imagine somewhere over here in this river area, which is not a terrible spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go. He's kind of in a bad location with that river right there.
Yeah, if it was a little closer, it'd be ideal, right, as a defensive spot, and then you could sieve backwards. But as is, it's not the greatest because...
yeah, just an awkward spot.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little surprised that Henry didn't sieve on silver, and instead they're going to give the opposing Nubian players access to silver. That's a pretty big mistake in my opinion. Silver is one of the most excellent rares to have around.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit of a blunder there, but he secured horses and silk, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fair trade-off. You trade off silver for horses and silk. Not too bad.
Henry is going to age, is going to get to 100 food income, 100 timber income, using bison, which is a good choice. And Henry says, okay, I'll rush him. That seems like a solid choice. Looks like the German player the merchant is a bit far out from silver. And it looks like it's going to be one of those classic cases where there's two people on one. It's going to be a 2v1 on both sides, and it's just going to be a race to see which player can defend the most.
Yeah, that's how it's stacking up here. And looks like Nutz kind of took his foot off the gas a little bit on the raids. He is going to take out the sugar. I see Connor snuck in and used the sugar at the top.
Yeah.
Sneaky move.
Sneaky Connor. I don't actually know if it was worth it, but...
Yeah, but anyways, he did it.
Yeah. Henry has aged, but Nutz and Rui are both aging. Nutz actually the only one on his team who is using silver.
Yep.
On this side, we see a forward capital and a stable coming up from Henry. This looks like a classic Lakota rush. I'm not sure if Connor definitely is a little bit behind. Is close to aging, but not quite. And this is definitely a late age time. But there's a nice little raid here. 3 units from Connor. I'm going to pick off some citizens. This is a really annoying spot to raid, especially. There's no tower here quite yet.
Yep. Yeah, good counter raid by Connor here. I like this. Just put some pressure back on Nutz.
Definitely. I'm not sure what Nutz's plan is here. Just floating a bit too many resources. When you age up like this, you really just want to get your mine down, get your senate down, get your university, a stable, and Nutz doesn't even have science 1, so that's also important. Let's take a look. This side, Rui has gotten senator up, and the economy is going to start popping off a bit. I like this lookout here from at Berlin. I'm just going to make sure he doesn't straight up die to any sort of really aggressive rush. And the Lakota player is going for mill 2. Lakota player also has gone for senator. I think that's a solid choice because you're facing off against a Germans player. You're not likely to just outright kill them immediately, and also your orange Com2 player has as Com2 they slow down a little bit, but they're going to get more production later on. So there's no need to just rush in with all these militia or whatever.
Yeah, and the Nubians, Ryuk's got plenty of rares he's using, as you can see. He's using 7 rares.
Yeah, that is a lot of rares.
Yeah, he's going to get a great boom. He's in the back too, so he's pretty much going to just sit there and boom and let Lakota go up in pressure and just give
or even if he wants to, just go Com2 Despot, which, it's not as effective on this map because it is not a water map, but it is still quite good. Nubians are quite good with that Com2 Despot because they get more wealth from their
he's
rares.
getting mill 2. I see him getting mill 2 now, so that's
I think we could see a despot coming from orange
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like
That could be.
that looks like Despot money.
Yeah.
No, not
It
quite.
makes sense.
Let's take a look at the other side here. We're seeing Nutz put out a stable nice and early. Going to catch some of these raiders from Connor. Connor overstayed his welcome. Unfortunately, going to lose a bowman. Might lose this one too, depending on the micro. Connor microing poorly. Going to lose that bowman. Probably could have saved it. But is getting the stable up. Let's see. I imagine we'll see Senator from Connor.
And Connor's got a nice raiding part here in the middle of the map. He's just going to go around and poke around and just keep harassing. So that's a good when you have the Spanish player using that power to go and test all those rares, find wood camps. That's what you want to do, just keep pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, but it is still, I mean, these life horses from Nutz are annoying.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Nutz is doing a great job of just constantly poking and prodding too.
Yeah, definitely. That economy from Connor is definitely hurting a lot. Only plus 30 wood at this point. Really not ideal, unfortunately. And I imagine we do see here Nutz gonna go for mill 2. And the Ferkman is just booming along, I think. Needs to get a couple more farms, actually, going. Has a bit of timber floating, and also needs to get some production buildings going so it can aid, Nutz in the offense there. Let's take a look on this side. Looks like the Lakota player and the Nubians player are kind of booming along, and Ryuk G.I. John has gone for that Senator instead of the Despot, as we suspected. A safer build, I would say, but might not be as effective. Here, this wine merchant's getting raided. Nice work from Nutz. Just being active around the map, scouting around, making sure your opponent's not too passive. And we do see attrition already for Henry. Excellent choice, and a barracks here from the Ferkman. Gonna make sure that that he's not gonna die straight up. He's floating a good amount of resources though. Would like to see some. Oh, it looks like Rui's stable is a bit late. If you put the stable up much earlier, could have been a good way to pump out some heavy cavalry, which might have made short work of some of these units. Not that many units so far from these players. Ryuk so far are going for a archer and cavalry composition, which is pretty standard. And then Henry only has a couple heavy infantry and bowmen. It looks like they are going to build Scholar, so this is definitely not an all-in by any stretch of the means. They're just putting pressure here, forcing their opponents to make units, which is a good choice.
Yeah, and we're seeing just constant raids in the back from Connor, which is nice. And this double on Munich it's going to do a little give trouble to the German player. So let's see if they can get maybe a quick sack or just kill some units. But good defense coming from Rui. He should be able to hold.
Yeah, second tower coming up. I actually don't see that many units from Rui quite yet. He needs to pump out some more units.
Well, he's got 25 villagers in that city. He's got militia research, so
yeah,
looks like he's just gonna rush medieval age.
Yeah, that is a lot of knowledge, and is gonna get enough food income. That wood income though is quite low. I'm not really sure what happened there. I would like to see a lumber mill thrown down just to supplement that. I would like to see Henry and G.I. John actually split their armies and just attack both cities, and then wherever the army isn't, then they can just go in. On this side, we do see here Nutz is going to start putting pressure. There are some units for Connor at this point who has gone Senator, but the economy is just a little low, only plus 90 wood. But actually, if you compare, Nutz's economy is also not really good. Has had plenty of time to build up, but the economy's not really there. I'm not really sure what's happening. Nutz is doing an excellent job just pressing forward. Needs to have the Senator forward, obviously. But I think Connor recognizes he can't hold the city. There's just no way. There's no attrition. There is militia, but just one lookout, not even a finished tower. And this army's much larger. Connor says GG here. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Connor's going to pull a militia, but that's not going to be good enough. The city of Ciudad Real is going to go down very soon, I imagine. Connor does have upgraded units. I'm not sure why Nutz is just running away with these hoplite.
It's all about micro right here.
Heavy cavalry, yeah, and he's going to lose this fight because he just microed terribly. He's just walking away with the army. I think he could have won the fight if he just stayed, or at least killed a bunch of militia.
Easily. Yeah, easily. Micro here would have really done him a lot of bad.
Yeah, gonna lose a bunch of units here. A lot of these units are damaged, and Connor's not doing a great job trying to pick them off. Like, these units have 1 health and 5 health respectively. But the micro's off. Like, this hoplite's gonna die for no reason. But this is a nice aggressive tower from Nutz.
Yeah, but you just see the backfire of not having a second stable, right? Look at his queue in the stable.
Yeah, 3 units.
You gotta at least get a second stable
And
down.
also, I'm just not impressed with Nutz's economy. This is a terrible economy for this point in the game, especially, you know, you did take an early raid from Connor, and you also went mill 1, but it's just, this economy is really lackluster. Only plus 95 food. That's really terrible. On this side, G.I. John's doing an excellent job just raiding with 4 heavy cavalry. That's a really nice raid. And also G.I. John's going to go for Hanging Gardens. Just go for the long boom play. Also go for Science 1. This is one of those scenarios where I think it's actually fine to go for to skip on Medieval Age because you know it's not like you're gonna kill Rui in the next like I don't know, like 5 to 10 minutes probably. So it's best just to invest in the long game, especially considering the Furkman is here. That's why the Furkman hasn't been on the other side pressuring.
Yeah, he rotated down, and I think it was, you know, a wise move. If Nutz could get his micro together, he should be able to just steamroll over Connor here, but unfortunately Connor just was able to out micro and hold him off.
Yeah.
So now we'll see if the Germans have gone age 3. Maybe they can hold off this push and then counter and go right into and take the capital.
Yeah, there are some units here from Henry who's using that barracks from earlier. That's a nice play there, making sure Connor doesn't die. But Connor's economy is just not the best. Admittedly, it's actually kind of similar to Nutz's economy, who is also, I think, I don't know, I feel like Nutz has dropped the ball a little bit. Can actually age very soon if he just had resources for Science 1, which he does, and gonna click up very soon. Some minor mistakes, you know, we did see the very nice prodding and pushing with the units, but unfortunately it was.
And he still is. He's got that light horse, so he's
here we see G.I. John. I don't think this is a good position. If the Furkman just ambushed in and killed a bunch of these sieges, that would be really effective. There are 4 sieges from Ryuk, but I mean, I think an ambush would be really good. The army for G.I. John and Henry is a bit far behind. I mean, there are some units
I'd
from
say for
Henry.
Lakota.
What'd you say?
Figuring G.I. John's economy, you could definitely pump out a mill 3 and but more than it looks like they both have 8 units each. That's G.I. John's fighting with age 1 units.
Fighting with what units? Sorry.
So just gonna fall apart.
Yeah, and we do see here Henry. These units are just gonna walk in and just die. It's 20 minutes 30 seconds. I'm at about 20:35 right now. And they're just gonna walk in one by one. This is a pretty messy fight. Not really great fight. The Dutch player has aged.
No wagon from John either. Oh, Henry's got one, but John doesn't have a wagon. So
yeah, and there's a lot more units for John here. That wagon's really important. And the healing, the longer this fight goes on, the better it is for the old Papi, team of old Papi Nutz. There are sieges here, which is kind of stupid. You don't really want the sieges in a defensive situation like this. If you can keep them in the siege factory, right now they're going to get sniped for free.
Yeah. And Furkman wisely just for the feigned retreat, keep drawing those troops in without a wagon, just let them burn.
Yeah, definitely.
And rebuild your army in the meantime, and then come back and attack again. So
yeah, and if you look at the army composition for Henry, there's a lot of pikemen, which kind of suck in this scenario. And on this side, Nutz, this would be a good raid, except he needs to move the camel archer slightly forward. And there's also not that much army for Nutz. Floating tons and tons of resources, really, really not ideal. If Nutz just spent those resources, I think he would be crushing Connor, but instead Connor's actually ahead in score now.
Yeah, I mean, Nutz could easily have a baby Colossus-sized army right now and just absolutely steamroll through Connor. But instead, yeah, he's just...
that almost raid from Nutz.
Yeah.
The mine.
Yeah.
Oh, my mouse is not functioning. Okay, we're good.
And it looks like John's still going to push without a wagon. Here comes the wagon now, finally.
Yep.
That's good.
But these units are super damaged.
Yeah.
Admittedly, John is ahead in tech. The Hanging Garden's helping out a ton. They have armor.
And they have the
he does not have
overall.
armor, but he has Mel 3.
He's using all those rares. He's going to be able to get to gunpowder pretty quick. As long as they can just hold.
Now, I think this is now the opportunity for the Furkman to rotate over to the right and help Nutz kill Connor, because I think, you know, it's clear that Rui's probably going to be able to hold him off here. at least for a little bit. There's 2 towers here. Rui has a ton of resources, can get mill 3 very soon. Also has a castle already. I think Fergman needs to rotate because they're going to lose this side eventually to G.I. John just out booming them.
Yeah, no, John's going to boom for sure. If Ferg can rotate right now, even maybe just sneak in Madrid like we saw last game when Lat did that insta-kill, you could see that. You could see an insta-kill here because Madrid's pretty exposed.
Yeah, and here Nutz is making a big misplay. He's been in the medieval age for a while, but only now going to upgrade these units. Not really sure what he's doing with that time. These bowmen and hoplites are terrible.
Yeah, and he's got plenty of resources. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's just
not doing anything with it. Not really impressed with the resource
needs taxation. Needs to get another mine. They have plenty of mine control. He can grab another mine.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's just what happens is you just get kind of tunnel vision, trying to do one thing and neglect other things.
It looks like they do take it because I don't know why Connor backed. I guess they backed off because they have less units overall. But the Lakota player also is floating tons and tons of resources. Would like to see a wonder get put down, Colossus or something. I mean, look at that Lakota player resources. Look at Henry's economy.
Yeah, I mean he's got plenty of. He's got another 24 units he could build here. You know, he's not near pop cap.
Yeah,
so.
I mean he's doing a decent job spending the army, spending the money. What am I saying?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And he's queuing well. He's got 2 stables. That's
yeah,
nice.
looks like the Ferkman's gonna go in for a charge. Lakota player, nobody has armor. Oh, I guess G.I. John has armor. Rui's gonna go in. I don't know who's gonna win this fight. It's gonna be up to the micro. I do see the knights moved out of the way, which is a nice choice from the Ferkman. Still gonna get caught by these pikemen a little bit. Should have gone around the right, I think. And there's a lot of archers here, but they're gonna get run down by all these units. I think this is a victory. This fight's gonna be a victory for old Papi. Big turning point here.
And you see,
I think Rui's gonna sweep them.
Nutz finally took that city of Ciudad Real.
Yeah. Connor just had to back off because the units were upgraded. Connor finally techs up to medieval age, but that economy from Connor is actually quite lackluster. Not really sure what's happening there. Nutz hasn't been doing a super great job pressuring anyways. And they are just going to keep pushing into their opponents, just kill as many units as they can, which is an excellent move. This is the capital. The fort's going to go up, but they are now fighting on their opponent's territory. But there are a lot more units for the Ferkman as well as Rui, and there's no attrition from the Lakota player, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has militia either, so he could be in big trouble here.
Yeah, actually, if they preserve those sieges from earlier, this would be a different push, I think. Rui does have some sieges now, going to start sieging the production at the front. And it looks like they're just going to walk back away. I think they could probably stay and fight this out, just kill some of these pikemen and units from G.I. John, who didn't really do a great job retreating.
Yeah.
They have so many more units.
Rui's slowly. Yeah, Rui's got a huge army.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed to pull this one out, but I guess his economy's gone pretty much untouched. On this side here, we do see Nutz continuing the siege. That economy is still kind of lackluster. Needs to make 2 more caravans, needs to get another metal mine, and needs to research some of these techs, either Mill 3 or Commerce 2. Does have Science 3, which is good. And they actually haven't cleared up this Papi merchant, the keep in the back. And I don't know, this kind of all fell apart for G.I. John and Henry here after that one disastrous fight. Looks like Rui just made a ton of knights, 10 knights, and now is just trampling over their opponents.
Yeah, but look at G.I. John's library. He's gonna go gunpowder soon. He could come and just clean up this whole mess.
That is true, but I mean, in terms of army, you know, G.I. John doesn't have much of an army right now. Let's take a look. Only 70 population. That's not really going to cut it at this point. Even if you have the tech advantage and the economic advantage, it's still not good enough. And the bit of a mistake here from Henry doesn't raise the Senate. Only 67 population. It looks like the capital of Guadalupe is going to go down, and there's nobody here to help them out. Yep. I don't think. And in fact,
still no.
Henry's going to go over to help out Madrid, or help defend Madrid, which I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think you just got to try and hold the city somehow.
Yeah,
but
interesting move there, just sacrificing his cap to save his teammates. I like the heart, but I don't know if it's going to pay off.
Yeah, and Connor says, how can you lose there have been 2 here? I mean, I don't agree with that. I think
there's not 2 there.
They've been trading 2 for 2, but G.I. John was very
wisely just Fergman had like one archer over there. He's gonna cry about 2 versus 2. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
Henry says
he
2
was
here all
1
the
versus
time. I
1,
agree.
getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think
So,
we do see here Rui takes the capital, and that's probably going to be GG. That's a huge bonus. Henry calls out GG. I think ultimately it was just one. It was some mistakes from what is this?
Yeah, I wouldn't call GG. I mean, Coda can go pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say
I think,
that
I
G.I.
think
John.
they could fight it out for probably like 2 or 3 more minutes, but G.I. John actually has no food to age.
Yeah,
So.
He's got Colossus and Hanging
and
Gardens.
Yeah.
Eco.
And all he needs is food to age.
Yeah, actually, and in fact, Rui's army is completely destroyed. I don't really know how. Henry says, "Let's play anyway."
Henry
Yeah,
did a good job of sniping the sieges. Just needs to preserve his economy.
Yeah,
He's
and
doing
at
a
this
good job
point, I would
raiding
like to see.
villages.
I would like to see Rui back off because there's not enough units actually to hold up against the dual production. Not sure where the Ferkman's army went. I guess it just kind of rolled over and died. I don't know. Look at those resources floating for the Ferkman. 1,300 food, 1600 timber.
That's
Yeah,
the
it
power
looks
of the Dutch, man.
Yeah, and it looks like
Dutch. All in.
yeah, and if we do see here production buildings starting from the Ferkman, you should have done this a while ago. Going to spend a bunch of those resources, and still Nutz' economy is just not there. It doesn't even have literacy. Floating thousands of resources once again. Doesn't have caravans. Really would like to see him build things, spend your money, because he can age up quite soon actually. If you got literacy and a couple more scholars. But instead it is going to be G.I. John who ages first. And now with a pretty booming economy, the population is going to start to recover once more, upgrading to arquebusiers, bombards, and heavy knights, 3 of the most important units in the Gunpowder Age.
Yep. And it's going to be trouble now. Colossus, that economy is on fire for Ryuk, so he's going to be able to pump out some serious army.
And Rui says, next time ban Lakota, guys. I don't know. I don't think they're losing this game because of the Lakota pick. In fact, I think the Lakota pick wasn't super effective. Like, the best was they towered Papi, but I mean, that's good, but it's not, it's not insane.
Yeah, no.
I think instead it was just like they're I think both the Ferkman and Nutz had game plans. They kept not managing their resources wisely, and that's led them to have much smaller armies than they.
Yeah, there was just some missed opportunities
yeah.
just to kill. I think when they saw the GGs, they just took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and so that. I don't think it was an intentional tactic there from Henry, but it ended up paying off. I think him and Connor really thought it was GG, and then just got just to kind of relax a little bit. Now G.I. John can boom, and he can just pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and
I'd really
it
like to see a siege factory for Connor to get rid of that and a little faster.
Let's take a look at what G.I. John is doing on this side. Gonna try to age up again, I believe. Or gonna try to age up, but he's behind. He invested a lot of units in a lot of money into economy early on, and there's a secondary army here from Ryuk to try and hold them off. That economy, man, that's pretty gross.
Yeah, that's just like proper use of Nubians there.
Yeah.
Just really getting a sick boom going on. I mean, it's John at this point is pretty much unbeatable. He could probably 1 versus 3.
I don't know about 1 versus 3, but maybe 1v2, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But Henry's cap's still in trouble. So.
I see a age 4 coming from Nutz.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Should have been a bit earlier. And the economy again is still. I've been harping on Nutz for a while, but man, I think Old Papi Nutz easily wins this game if Nutz booms correctly.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
I think Nutz did really decent. I mean, his early raids really mattered.
Yeah, definitely.
You could see
Set
Connor
way back behind. The early game was very good. it was just like later on, it faltered. At this point, plus 60 metal income is completely unacceptable, as is plus 67 food income.
I'd really like to see both Rui and Nutz rares. You know, they never found salt, and both of them are only using half the rares available.
Yeah, where's salt again?
Yeah, top right.
Oh yeah, you're right. They never found salt.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that would have been an important rare, and also especially for the Nubians player getting more metal income because he's currently really hurting for metal.
Yep. And then of course losing silver was a big blunder there. Just gave away that small city. And now you see Henry's using it and he's gonna age. So now you're gonna have 2 age 4 coming in. This is gonna be tough. Momentum is completely shifted.
2 age 4 opponents with proper economies compared to Nutz, who's kind of faltering. The very, very faltering economy, unfortunately for him. It's gonna be really tough. I don't know how Dirty's Angels wins this now.
Yeah.
Or not Dirty's Angels, Old Papi Nutz, I mean.
Right. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Momentum is completely shifted. I mean, Rui needs to age here. Maybe if he ages, he can do something. Still needs some knowledge. He's quite a ways away.
What do you think was the difference maker here, other than G.I. John's boom? In my opinion, it looks like
it was both,
just the overall, like, the mantle was really lifted from Henry as the middle player to help both sides, whereas Ferkman just kind of, I don't know, he didn't really put much effort into either of his endeavors.
No, it feels like I think it's a mix of the Ferkman just not spending the resources correctly, as well as Nutz definitely the boom is not there. They just like did
I don't even think that. I disagree. I think they could have closed this deal if they just kept pushing. Even with the lackluster economies, they had the upper hand. I think when Henry said that GG, he unknowingly gave them the win because he just made them feel comfortable. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, now we see
pushing. Because Connor was dead. Connor was completely out of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And Henry was hurt too. And then all of a sudden they just completely stopped and just let everyone come back. So, and that happens.
Connor never lost his cap sec, did he?
No, he didn't.
Connor moved his cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Connor moved his cap. Yeah.
It looks like they're going to try and double G.I. John's army. I don't know if that's going to be effective. G.I. John's army is way higher tech, 1 age up. And it looks like, let's see, there is not armor for the Dutch player. The Ferkman does not have armor, so I don't know who's going to win this fight. G.I. John actually might just crush both of these armies.
Henry's right there too, so he can definitely he can pop in very quickly with all those.
Yeah, now they're going to take Ciudad Real because they see their opponents are gone. Connor has a pretty good sized army himself, although his economy is pretty terrible. But if you look at the metal income, 130 compared to Nutz is now 153. Finally gets that metal mine, but
really would have liked to have seen Henry join that fight to
put insult into injury.
Help Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, we see a fort right next to the city of Jebel Barkal. This is gonna turn the fight around, so G.I. John's gonna be able to take the city in short fashion.
Yep. Yeah, and at this point, Henry and John can run through this, clean all this up. They don't even need.
Yeah, Connor can be dead for all they care. It
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's useless.
Yeah.
What happened to Rui?
Rui invested a lot in units early on, so isn't able to age as fast. And that's why they're able to get the edge here. Rui just invested all the wealth in knights instead of scholars, which I think was a good move, but ultimately they weren't able to hold that offense there. And admittedly, the capital is undefended, but G.I. John can just go back and defend, and on this side they're gonna lose because Connor at this point is somewhat recovered, and the Ferkman has no army.
Yeah, and I just saw Rui say, "Gotta win in GP or we lose." And yeah, I mean you're gonna have to make a push here. Fortunately, Henry's capital's still in front. He hasn't raised the Senate, so maybe they can just get in there and take Henry's capital again and sit on it.
Yeah, we do see here a raid from Nutz with a general, with a horse archer and a knight. This is an awesome raid, gonna really hurt the economy of Henry there. Really nice move from Nutz. As much as I've been harping on him for most of the game, nice move.
No, he's been successfully raiding all game.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think there was a moment there where they just kind of took a deep breath and was like, oh, okay, we have this one. We can just kind of chill now. And nope, these guys weren't going to go away without a fight. So, you know, they were able to keep pushing back, and it's going to be tough. But I think if old Papi Nutz can keep microwing and keep getting the resources back up, you know, Connor's so far behind, they might have a chance to take out Henry's capital
that is
here. Like
true.
I said, I'm not sure why Henry hasn't moved his capital out of here. It's just sitting right in front.
Yeah, that is true. Ferkman needs an army. I don't know where the army is.
Yeah, and he's going for Com 3 instead of 4 mil or
Science or whatever. Yeah, it's not
Arc.
ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
not
sure.
prepared to, not capable of carrying his team, it looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think Rui was the player on that team to really just
Yeah, well, Nutz
take on
early.
2 versus 1.
Yeah,
Nutz
Nutz
had
early.
the
That early
opportunities
mill
early.
was good.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
slowed down Connor quite a bit.
Yep.
You know, that gave him a really good setup to win the game, but ultimately it was just not enough. That wealth income for Nutz only 49, and they're gonna on this side. Henry's gonna take the city of Delft easily. There's no resistance here from their opponents.
I think if Nutz and Connor were left to play 1 versus 1 there, Nutz would have won easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Henry
Yeah.
saved Connor many times, so
Yep.
I commend Nutz for his aggression there.
Yeah, definitely. That's really nice aggressive play. I think it definitely was the right play, and I think you've been doing really well. But your problems were your economy was just not there to supplement your aggression, because you're raiding Connor so much and you were damaging him a lot, but your economy ended up like very similar to Connor's actually. In fact,
Yeah, and the
just, like,
micro
compare the
wasn't there
numbers.
early too. That
Yeah.
hurt a little bit. But as Connor says snarkily in the chat, it's not 1 versus 1; it's a team game. So
that is
fair
true.
enough.
That is true.
You're absolutely right. That's the whole point of playing a team game. You get your team to rotate and help you out, and you see this is good team play here.
Yeah.
And
Do you see
It's
here,
starting to pay off.
Rui's gonna go for Monarch, but I mean, I think it's too little, too late. GI John is gonna age up soon.
yeah,
Is using silver currently, and pretty close actually. Needs like another minute or 2 to age up.
and it looks like Ferkman's got a small army. He's gonna draw GI John down for a minute here. I'm not sure where Ferkman's going, but
I guess he's going to the capital. I think that's a
He's
good
gonna
choice,
lose
but
all
I
his
wish he had Monarch instead of Commerce 3.
yeah. Oh, and Henry's gonna lose his cap again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I'm a little bit behind you, Oldie. I'm at 39-16
Oh.
right now.
Oh,
But yeah, it looks like there's nothing to protect except this fort.
Yep.
And this is a good play from the Ferkman in terms of like in terms of army rotations, right? Just be really annoying, draw your opponent out of position, because this is a scary army, right? Three bombards and some units is enough to take down most cities given enough time. So
Yep.
GI John is forced to split the army. But if you look at that timer now, and also the scores, look at GI John's score, right?
Yeah, he's just on fire.
Yeah.
He's absolutely crushing right now. I mean, he's got he's almost double Nutz and Nutz and Ferkman combined is almost John's score. So, I mean, it's like,
Yeah. And now we do see here, GI John's gonna run in, but there's no general actually, and so that means Rui might actually win this fight, and I think that's really good for Rui, because first of all, he's pop capped, right? He needs to lose units in order to make more units and trade against the Colossus player, because that's how you win against the Colossus player. But also, just hurting like killing more of the Colossus player units and also being able to spend your resources rather than just letting them float there. Connor is here with an ambush, I believe, and that's probably going to turn the tide. Even though these are medieval age units, it's a lot of units to help out and going to kill the back line, kill all these bombards. Nice rotation from Connor there. And also it looks like Henry's also going to go back, and that's going to relieve pressure on this side. I wonder if Nutz is going to realize that the opponents are gone.
Yeah, we'll see. They got to start making some moves here. I don't know if Rui's going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, and G.I. John looks like he just suicided in like 20 units. There's no general, that's the problem. And so it loses that fight very easily against Rui's slightly smaller army, but the armor is there. I'm not sure if Rui's going to be able to hold up against Henry's pretty massive army. But Henry's economy is hurting definitely after losing that city. That was a lot of metal miners, and we saw a smelter about to go down as well.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why he just didn't move his cap back. There's no reason to keep the cap up there.
Yeah, and at this point, I think...
Or at least have the Senate raised so they can move it somewhere else in case this happens.
Yeah, I think at this point, Rui needs to go back and preserve army. His population is a little low. The opposing army is much larger. He should just force march back. He's not going to lose too many units on the chase. Yeah, would like to see him go back while their allies recover on the other side. Nutz needs to get out a couple more sieges, maybe 1 or 2 more, in order to really pressure that side to force them to be punished for their rotation.
Age 5 coming.
Yeah,
Impressive.
Age 5 coming from G.I. John.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Yeah, and Rui loses the entire army. Should have retreated earlier, but. And Henry says we can win. I think they're actually way ahead at this point. I don't know why they're talking, but I guess obviously the situation is very different once you're playing the game. Do you see here Nutz just being annoying, gonna harass Connor's economy once again.
Yeah, Rui unfortunately lost pretty much his entire army.
Yeah, didn't save those last couple units, which really cost him.
And now he's gonna have to deal with an Enlightenment Age Colossus army that's not with a monarch. That's just suicide. Yeah. Nothing we can do against that until he can age.
Yeah, maybe you can. We have seen G.I. John did lose that fight in front of the capital at first and the reason was because G.I. John didn't have a general. So maybe if Rui can sniff that out and snipe the monarch, can probably still win in a fight if you can snipe the monarch early.
Yeah, if you can use the monarch early, but if you look at John's economy, he can easily get Colossus army pumped out.
That's true. That is a massive economy.
Yeah, everything's maxed out except for knowledge, of course. It's just make a gigantic army, all Age 5. All the micro in the world is not gonna save you.
No.
It's gonna be tough.
As they say in StarCraft, more things beats less things.
Yeah. And that's typically the case here, especially in Age Up.
Yeah, definitely.
There's just such a significant jump from Age 4 to 5 with the armor, with the units, skill level.
Yeah, definitely. And this has been quite a game, I think. We've seen a lot of back and forth, some misplays from all sides, but I think that this is going to be... this is going to finally be the end of this game very soon. G.I. John going to go for first side just to rub it in. And his boom is completely out of control.
Yep.
On this side, Connor's going to lose Madrid sometime soon, but Nutz needs to get out another bombard. Actually, these bombers are just sitting in the back. And actually, they haven't taken the city yet. Okay, the city is finally taken.
The Dirty Angels, they just need to really force some of these cities. He loses all his economy. He's gonna give up.
Yeah. On this side, we do see Rui went for a little bit of a boom, which he needs to do because he has to try and catch up or something against his opponents, who G.I. John is Age 5 now, and going for science 5.
Science 5, yeah. That's just, and he's getting Versailles, so he's gonna get that extra healing from the supply wagons, plus the cheaper research from the library.
That's still being annoying, sending out a heavy knight, a bombard, just being really annoying in the back lines, which is good. I mean, but ultimately, I don't think it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, at this point in the game, that really is. It's just for your stats line, get you some kills.
Yeah, I guess
it's not going to do anything. Yeah.
Lakota player takes this city. That's going to be all the farms down the drain, and this is a major economic city for Rui. Look at that economy now, just really suffering.
Yeah, it's brutal. And you look at G.I. John, he's just rolling along here.
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's like, oh, I got a smallish Colossus army, whatever. I have so many units, I have so many resources, so much tech, it's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, Berlin's gonna be, once his castle's down, Berlin's done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's over.
Yeah. So we saw in this game once more. It looked like Rui was again the one of the most important players for old Papi Nutz, just really being the glue that gave them a chance to win the game. Although I will say, definitely good work on Nutz for that side. Definitely all the raids and stuff really hurt Connor. Rui says he's dead. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's over. Taking that back.
And Berlin is taken.
I think we can fast forward now.
Yeah. GG is called. Well played.
Was extremely well played. Nice hold, guys. Way to just stay in the game and not just lie it down. And you see, this is what happens. You know, you just stay in the game and keep fighting. Next thing you know, you win.
Yeah, let's take a look at the game stats quickly here. Rui with the most kills, but also the most losses because he lost a lot of those units at the very end. Definitely a very sweet game. And I would expect nothing less of a match that will decide which among these teams will go to the top 8. That is going to be a 1-0 victory for Dirty's Angels. I will update the score momentarily. All right, that is going to be a 1-0 victory. Let's jump into game number 2, shall we?
Sounds good.
If you are just joining us, welcome to the stream. My name is AS and I am joined as always by olddirtyh, and today we have our special guest, Phantom.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. I'm at 0 seconds when you guys are. Also, I'm gonna talk through the chat. Sorry, folks, I've been missing all of the chat. Hello to everybody who's here. I see Connor especially. Hi, Connor. Welcome everybody to the stream. Hope everybody is enjoying it. This looks to be an exciting series. Again, the winner of this match will qualify for top 8. The loser is not technically out of top 8 contention, though. Yeah, I'm at 0 seconds. Are you guys both ready?
Yep.
All right, cool. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so it looks like this is Amazon, yep.
Yeah. Amazon.
Let's take a look at the players and their nations. For the team of Dirty's Angels, we've got Ryak, who is G.I. John, Henry, and Nordic Classic, who is Connor. And they're off against old Papi Nutz, which is Rui, olddirtyh, and Nutz. So it looks like Oldie, you were swapped out. You took over the Ferkman spot for game number 2 here. What was the?
I got rotated in.
Yeah. What was the thought process?
We're just trying to get everyone to play.
Yeah, I get
We're just trying to get everyone to play. So that was all.
And so let's take a look at the nation. So it looks like clearly we're going to see some aggression from old Papi Nutz here. They have Rui with French, olddirtyh with Spanish, and Nutz with Turks. Spanish are pretty good with aggressive nations because you can scout the map, find good locations, and if the terrain doesn't favor you, you could also go for a longer game. On the other side, we see G.I. John with Chinese, Henry with Americans, and Connor with Mongols. Definitely more boom-oriented nations, especially Chinese and Americans.
Yep.
Who do you guys think these nations favor? Phantom mostly, because Oldie, you've played this game, so I imagine you know the outcome, so shush.
Early game, the Papi Nutz team has such an advantage. You've got Turks, Spain, to clean it up H2 and 3, and they've got furs, so it's really, it's a great setup for a rush.
Yeah. I would agree, but this map is Amazon, and Amazon's pretty hard to rush on because of all the terrain blockers.
It's just a brutal map for that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit unfortunate that for old Papi Nutz that they have these aggressive nations for such a brutal map for aggression. But on the other hand, their opponents have kind of bad nations for countering aggression. Mongols are really the only one. Americans not super great at defending. And Chinese, they have their extra large cities, but that's really it. There's not much else. I guess they can make emergency militia, but still, that's not the best. Let's take a look at where the players have spawned. On the left side, we have the red Mongols player, Connor, who is the tournament organizer. Thank you, Connor. And then on the bottom, we have Henry, the blue Americans player, and next to him, his teammate, G.I. John, the orange Chinese player. And facing off against Connor on the top side is the yellow French player, Rui, who we saw was one of the MVPs last game. olddirtyh, who we didn't get to see last game, but we'll see this game with Spanish in the pocket over there, kind of far away from everybody, and Nutz with Turks kind of far in this corner. I'm thinking this situation actually, it kind of favors the location of the cities, at least. It kind of favors the team of Dirty's Angels. They have Mongols directly across from French, and French aren't that great if you can get on top of them and just really harass them, especially with a fast nation like Mongols. Would like to see some aggression out of Connor to really stop the French player from getting out of control. On this side, it's nice to have the Chinese player a little bit far away from the Turks player. Their borders aren't quite touching, and the Chinese player has large cities, so it's nice to have them in front.
And this is good terrain too for these large cities because you can go eat up mountains. You can just really border push. So it's a nice, it's actually a good location for Chinese right here.
Yeah. Let's take a look at how their scouting is. Looks like Rui has not figured out that there's. Well, I don't know if Rui's figured out that there's somebody across, but hasn't figured out who it is. But this is a bit of a mistake. Rui really needs to figure out as soon as possible who's across from him, because if it's Connor, then I think he needs to prepare for a possible early mill one. We'll have to see.
Yep.
On this side, it's similar. Connor also hasn't done a great job scouting his opponent. Doesn't know if it's the Turks player there or the French player, as it ended up being, or possibly a Spanish player. If it's a Turks player, you really need to get up a fast build. Make sure you have citizens at home to counter any sort of rush or early aggression. So, it's a bit slops from both teams, but, whatever.
Fortunately for Connor, he's got really double the economy of Rui. The French from the Mongols.
Yeah, Mongols are quite good at being very, very fast. And I think Rui is actually very on the slow side. Only the fifth farm only coming up now at 4:16. Usually you want to get your library before 4 minutes, as if you have a nation with very little benefits, and French are pretty much a nation with very little benefits, needs to get out of that library immediately. Let's see what Connor's tech going for. Connor is going for that Commerce 1 build. I think that's a good choice. You could go for a mill first, but given that you're the Mongols player, you can get a little greedy and just go for Commerce 1.
Yeah, and he's in a great defense. Yeah, you look at his position, he's got this river here and this mountain, a bunch of trees around, so he's naturally defended.
Yeah. And it looks like Nutz is saving up resources for Civic 1, but clicks on it really late, despite saving resources. On this side, the Chinese player still doesn't have Commerce 1. they haven't actually scouted horses either, which is a pretty crucial rare. You really want to get access to horses for the French player. And the French player is finally going to put up the library. Really slow there. 5 minutes finishing the library, really not ideal. And Connor's almost going to have enough food for Milwan at this point.
Yeah, and especially when you're across your Mongols, to be on your back foot like that's not a good spot to start off.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like the Americans player, Henry, is going to go for Civic first. Not really sure
What about the Civ? You got the Civ ones from Nutz here. What do you think about this call?
Nutz is going to go for Civ 1. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. I think that they scouted... you guys scouted horses early, so I think that's a good choice. Really, really want to give the French player access to that. And also, you know, it's an awesome aggressive rare. You also don't really want to lose this mountain that in Nutz's territory, right next to horses. So it's definitely a good choice. I think an important one that he grabs it early on.
It also gives Oldie some opportunity to get the center diamond.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Let's talk through the rares quickly. So for the team of Dirty's Angels, they've got Amber over there, and we see a barracks coming up from Connor. We'll talk about that in short fashion. There's Amber over there. There's Gems in the left corner. In Henry's territory, there's Relics, and there's Obsidian over there on the top. That's pretty helpful for a defensive play. There's Spice on the bottom side, and Sugar right next to Beijing. That's an awesome rare. As well as Tobacco, but that's kind of contestable between Rui and G.I. John there. And then over here, there's Silk next to Austin. That's the city that Henry put up.
Check out G.I. John scouting.
G.I. John scouting. I mean, he's scouting it like kind of in the back area-ish.
Has no idea who's around him, what's around him.
Yeah, you really want to scout the areas that are closest to you first, and we do see the city for Oldie going to try and put it up there next to diamonds. Let's talk about the rares for Old Papi Nutz here. So obviously there's horses, which Nutz managed to capture, although this market should be more forward. There's diamonds, which also it looks like Oldie you're going to capture. Both pretty good rares. Nice city placement from both of you. There's peacocks on the right side, as well as Dai here across on the right of Nutz's capital.
A little vengeance coming from Connor for last game.
Oh yeah, this raid's gonna start, and it's gonna be pretty brutal. The French player has gotten a mill and a barracks, and Connor's raid is actually a little on the slow side, but it's it's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna kill a unit. There's Bison here for Old Papi Nutz, as well as Cotton on the top side over there. But currently, actually, Connor's using Cotton. Sneaky Connor, using your opponent's rares. Then on the top side, there's let's see, they've got silver on the very top, as well as marble and wine above Oldie's capital. There's also copper right in the territory there. So I don't know, who do you think the rares favor in this game?
I think that Old Papi Nutz definitely picked up the favor with you got horses and diamonds, top of furs, silver. And they have Papi.
Yeah.
The problem with silver is just so damn far away. It's hard to protect. So as long
I think
as
for your rush, you don't really need it.
Yeah, exactly. If you rush, there's no problem. They definitely. I like the long game rares for Connor's team with Silk and Relics in the back. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, they also have Salt here on the bottom side, which I missed earlier. That's going to be really excellent for the Americans player, and also possibly countering a raid. Although, you know, if Nutz gets a little gutsy, he can try to sneak and grab and try and use Salt. That's a bit of a sneaky play there. Nice forward tower from the Turks player. Needs to get the economy a little bit higher, but otherwise, you know, booming along, doing really good, doing really well. I mean.
Yep.
On this side, let's see how the French player is doing. Gonna Civ in the back. Oh, they have Papi. Sorry, I totally did not see that. I do have Papi, and this is gonna be an annoying raid here. They also have furs. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just missing all of these rares. There's a single citizen raiding this furs merchant, but the furs merchant is really good here for the French and Turks team. You know.
Yeah. But you see, Rui's just struggling to catch his economy up right now. He's a little behind. Well, he's at 100, but his gold is very low.
Yeah, needs to get to diamond immediately with a merchant. Rui says no gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ping out diamonds, which is good for them. But this citizen might actually kill this merchant, this furs merchant. Rui needs to move it. He needed to move it earlier, and I think it's gonna get killed.
You just go ahead and use mill level 2.
Yeah, you just use it and run.
Yeah. Click on the button. Looks like it's gonna go down without being used. Gonna go for science 1 instead.
Yeah, we just had unfortunate spawn positions here. You can see these great rares in the back: silver, furs, wine. It's just so far to go defend.
Yeah. Rui snipes a merchant from Connor. Connor overstayed his welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you, Oldie. It's kind of like Sahara, right? Like the rares in the back are not safe because you just get rushed there.
Especially when you got a Mongol player. I mean, it's tough,
Yeah.
But you got to try and use them and run. That's the best strategy.
Yeah, and we do see here, Nutz, the build order is off, went for science before aging, has 200 food floating. This is gonna be a really late age for not taking any damage. I think Nutz was off to a very promising start, but the build order is just not really there. Now gonna get milled too.
Yeah, and the second tower is really unnecessary. It's just, you can use those resources to get archers, or you could do the little trick where you put the tower and raise it to H2 to get the metal. Pull up some siege factories. But instead you do the double tower here.
Yeah, nice little raid from Connor. Gonna snipe all those silver there. All those silver merchants there.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating to be so far away from those beautiful rares.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Yeah, it's just a bad spot.
Yeah, and still Rui's not using diamonds. I don't really know why. It's just like walk around.
He maybe he sent a merchant in micro it and got picked off or sniped.
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know.
I don't know either. Not sure. Yeah, we also have dye in the back. I mean, that one's far. It's hard to defend, so I understand not using that one.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at purple. Look at Nutz. His library. Goodness.
I don't know. I don't know about the Civ 2 choice. I think you just want to get aggressive. You're the Turks. Put pressure. You don't have to Despot rush, but you can at least put down a siege factory and start sieging and put a stable down. I don't know.
Yeah, especially on Austin here, it's right there.
It's a really long rotation for G.I. John.
Yeah, there's a big river in the way. That's tough for him to get over and help. And
I think Nutz figured he had 300 food, might as well spend it, but he could have just pumped out.
Yeah,
10, 15 citizens, got up a senator economy, and then rolled. Yeah.
Yeah. And you see the raids in the back from Connor, very annoying.
Yeah, gonna snipe out these wine merchants once again. This is really annoying, definitely. Would like to see a stable from somebody on the old Papi Nutz team, because they really need to get rid of these units. Connor's left them out too long, and they're causing a lot of damage, but at this point you can clean them up with a stable.
Yeah, we see Nutz finally get a siege factory dropping. We're going to see some offense on Austin here.
Yeah, the sieges are currently just sitting there, unfortunately. Nutz needs to move them in.
Yeah. And Rui's still a little behind here. He's not used his diamond still.
I don't really know why. In fact, Rui's teammates pinged it out. Again, gonna get this furs merchants raided. There's really, I don't think there's any excuse for this. Rui saw Connor's units moving in the back. It also got the silver merchants raided early on. Really no need to send another merchant just to die in the back, because there's currently no support quite yet.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, but you just gotta keep pushing.
Yep. On this side, Nutz. It feels like if he just feels like if he was a little bit more focused, he could have taken the city pretty easily from Henry, but instead, Henry's the one with the massive economy, and Nutz is a little bit far behind. And in fact, if you look at the scores, all of Dirty's Angels are ahead of Old Papi Nutz. All of their members are ahead in score, and that's really not a good sign. And oldie here, I'm going to point out your misplay. You're not infinite queuing citizens. You have 300 food. And so it's a lot of food floating. And you go for... Yeah. And so that's going to cost you a little bit of speed at least.
I started getting distracted by that damn raid. I was getting pissed. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Out there. Yeah. And then I just fell asleep.
Yeah.
So,
it is quite hard to... manage multiple things at the same time. If you're focused on stopping a raid from taking so much damage, and then,
And I thought I spammed a bunch of civ or villagers to do that mine. I thought I filled that mine up, but apparently I didn't. So I was focused on the raid and, whatever.
Yeah.
Blunder on my part, for sure.
Yeah, we do see here on this side, Ruri's gone for Senator. How do you guys feel about this choice, Ruri going for Senator?
Well, I mean, figuring he's not paying attention to the rares doesn't really matter, Despot or Senator, because he's not rushing.
Yeah,
that's true. Not using horses, not using diamonds.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you should sweat, not using your resources, because Nutz isn't rushing. He's just bothering them with siege.
That's true, but I mean, it's also like, it's just you could have your economy up a little faster, you know what I mean? Connor's still being annoying with these units, these archers. And Ruri, the micro's a bit off. Should just target fire that weakened archer and let the other one go. Henry gonna go for Hanging Gardens. I think this is a good choice considering, you might have to trade a lot with a Turk's aggressive opponent, so Colossus is not really, you don't need Colossus, you can just get Hanging Gardens, go for a longer game, because they are winning the longer game. I personally would like to see Ruri go for a Despot because, you really have to get aggressive and make something happen because you're going to lose in the long game.
So, we see Henry and G.I. John didn't scout their best rares, and also a lot of ruins in the center.
Yep.
So
that's relics or obsidian. Yeah.
And now you're seeing G.I. John rotating down to help against these Turks. Decent sized army.
Yep.
And
these four towers didn't really do anything. They just got sieged down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Just put the towers up. I think thinking to go aggressive, and then it just wasn't clear what the game plan was going to be.
Yeah. And let's think about again once more that those raids from Connor, those were so cost effective, right? He's lost probably 5 units and killed 10 merchants at this point.
Oh yeah, there was just
that's just, really brutal. Still has an archer rotating in the back.
Yeah, just hacking around.
Yeah.
So I was able to help out here Nutz a little bit. I sniped a couple siege for him, G.I. John.
Yeah, that is quite good. Sniping those sieges stops them from attacking, and the micro is a little bit off from G.I. John, but it's fine because it looks like you don't have that many archers here.
No, I ambushed. I just rushed in real quick, so I caught him kind of out of position.
Yeah, and that's always something that you want to do. Again, just you want to press forward, be active with your units, especially with light horses. That's the best usage of those units.
Yep. Looks like Henry's got a decent little army coming together here. Just needs to upgrade his hoplites.
Yeah, this is a solid army. 5 archers, 2 hoplites, a light horse, and a cataphract. And I think Henry's realized, Nutz is clearly not bum rushing, right? He's just sitting back.
He's being very passive, playing passive game.
And so Henry's like, okay, well, whatever. Screw you. I don't need to make that many units. I can just get my Hang Gardens up, get my taxation, get those upgrades, age up, and I'll be perfectly safe. And I'll boom you.
Yeah, now you see Connor Connor, he's got silver secured, so he can go sneak around back there and use it if he wants to.
Rui only has 3 units total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brutal.
And
That's
Rui,
not
it looks
gonna-
like the resource management was a bit off. Just like you don't need this much metal. Gonna lose this bison merchant.
Raids
Yeah,
from G.I. John in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, this horse archer is gonna do a lot of damage. Kills a citizen already. Probably gonna kill 1 or 2 more. Really annoying there.
Connor was able to go in and take out the bison too. So that's
Yeah, it's brutal. And now he's going to start the raiding on the metal mine, which is very exposed for Rui here. He needs to back off all these units. Already lost 2, I think.
yeah, this is a bad spot to be in against the Mongol army.
Yeah, and I really think Rui should have despotted this game. I mean, I think there are a lot of things that they could have done differently, but really, I think a despot would have been done a lot of good. Like, look at Connor's army. He has like very little army right now. He's obviously focused on booming up quite a bit and raiding the backline. I mean, I think a despot would have gone a long way to make a difference here. Instead, he's just gonna die a slow, painful death.
He did a good job. He put a merchant on silver. I appreciate the aggression.
I'm at 1920 right now, just to double check with all of you. 1920. We do see a bit of a rotation from Nutz and olddirtyh. You guys are going up top to try. It looks like you're going to try and take out this Chinese army here. A bunch of phalanx and cataphracts and two archers. Nutz ages, but the rest of the Dirty's Angels is also aging. It looks like G.I. John's army might get caught out here if they're fast enough. olddirtyh, it looks like you guys are going in for a charge, but the units are moving the wrong direction, and that's going to cost you a lot. You could have cleaned up this entire army, but instead just ran the wrong way. Been inactive. Nutz is trying his best to make a difference, but these units are actually quite unupgraded, and so is going to lose some units to G.I. John there, who kind of overstayed his welcome, but G.I. John loses his library, which means his age time is going to be delayed. And Connor does have a pretty good army now, 3 sieges, which I think he's realized that he's quite far ahead of Rui here. And the Chinese player goes for Colossus now.
Rui's about to stage quit in the middle.
Yeah, this fort is going to get denied. That's really unfortunate. Admittedly, this is not really a good position for a fort anyways, but that's really sucks. That's really sucks. That's a lot of resources down the drain. We might be able to snipe off some of these sieges. But Connor has an upgraded army. Knights are getting upgraded. All these bowmen are completely unupgraded, and that means they're going to die very fast to these H3 knights.
Doing nothing to this siege.
Yeah. I mean, look at the score difference early on. 1,000 points difference between the two teams, average score at least. You see here, Nutz gonna go for pyramids.
You have to see some crazy magic on Nutz and olddirtyh's part to see a W there.
Yeah, I don't really know what they would have to do this game. It feels like ultimately they were just a little too passive. Connor really took advantage of the fact that the French player was slow.
At this point, I would just call Rui as a loss and try to do something down low.
Yeah. Do you see here a decent ambush from G.I. John? Gonna be just gonna harass and basically completely surround Old's army here. They're gonna have to run away, but they're gonna lose a lot of units to these crossbows. So olddirtyh, having played this game, what do you think your team should have done differently in hindsight? Oh, maybe olddirtyh's not here. Are you olddirtyh? Are you
Say,
here? Okay,
say
Phantom, go
that
ahead.
they really just weren't in good communication. Oldie and Nutz really had a great start. You know, they had great positioning, but Rui was really just almost on a separate team, doing his own thing,
Yeah.
not paying attention to team pings, not defending rares.
Yeah, and it feels like ultimately this felt like a 2 versus 3, right? Because Rui was a little bit behind early on, and so Connor was able to raid all of their opponents' all of their opponents' rares, both Nutz and olddirtyh's rares, and so that really sucks. That really set them behind, I think, compared to Henry and GI John, who went pretty much untouched. Do you see here Nutz trying to raid with the heavy infantry, but not going to work out.
I think on Nut's part, the best thing he could have done would have been to just park a bunch of siege on that border and just siege all those markets and towers and buildings.
Yeah.
But, fortunately, he just chose to sit back and boom and siege Austin without any real aggression.
Yeah, and that doesn't really work out well, especially against an Americans player. Honestly, I think if Nutz just like straight up rushed, went for the Despot militia, just took Austin, then sieged Beijing, I think that would have worked out well. That would have set Henry back quite a bit. But unfortunately, I think his techs in the Ancient Age just weren't in the right order. Went for Science first, which is a bad choice. Then went for Mill 2. Then went for Age after having to move away the Silver Merchant, and that was a very slow start.
Yeah, I mean, if you see where Sugar's located, if old Papi Nutz would have just parked their armies right on Sugar,
yeah,
they would have had that river to protect them, you know?
Yeah, and that would have been a really good sieging spot. You can creep a little bit forward, start sieging the farms at Beijing, sieging all these production from Henry and stuff, and their opponents have to walk all the way around. They can only go through the front. We do see a bit of lag here, but I mean, I think this game is over. I think.
Yeah. I don't think lag's gonna really affect the result here.
Yeah.
See Rui come in and help olddirtyh a little bit, you know. Poor oldie's kind of.
Yeah, just left out to dry. Rui actually has a quite large army. If he just went in, he would be able to take the city.
The army composition, all those fire lancers would get crushed pretty quick.
Yeah, there are quite a lot of horses from Rui, but he's kind of just leaving olddirtyh out to dry. Again, lack of communication. If he just went in here, I think he would be able to crush his army. But he's not. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'd say if olddirtyh ran in right now and Rui would just stay there just to block the exit, it would keep them in the game.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Yeah, sure.
Looks like they're gonna let GI John save his army and run back.
Yeah. GI John says, I'm alone here. Yeah, but I mean, your opponents aren't really taking advantage of it. Rui's just like, oh yeah, I'll just like casually siege at my units, just be nice and friendly. I'll just like slowly march in so that GI John can know that I'm here and have plenty of time to retreat.
That's a great double team right there in the middle. Kind of teamwork would have been very helpful 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'm at 2609 now. I think he might be a little bit ahead of me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. 20 ahead.
Now we do see they're going to go for a sandwich. Finally, GI John has definitely overstayed his welcome. Should have backed off a while ago. And finally, olddirtyh and Rui are going to crush this army of GI Johns. It's going to try and save some units, but it's not going to work out, I don't think.
Managed to save 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I mean, compared to the size of Rui's army, it would have been that all of the units would have died.
Yeah.
Have a missed opportunity on old Papi Nutz's part, but
Yeah, definitely.
good job by Connor. As you can
Connor's
see,
still
he's
raiding the back. Yeah.
yeah, it's just being furs and silver unoccupied.
Yeah, and it looks like Henry's going to go for the age now with Hanging Gardens. Pop capped for a while. This is a really good army. A lot of cavalry, actually. But the economy's way maxed out. Clearly, Henry knows how to boom. And in fact, he's actually killing off his own units so he can make more units that are different. Kills off all the crossbows. Poor crossbows. So he can make more arquebusiers, I think.
And I think it's not necessarily the best choice because he could get mill 4 pretty quick.
Yeah.
If anything, he needs more siege.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks
true.
like Nutz is about to jam those towers.
Yeah, it's just 2 towers already. There's already one that's up, and a lookout as well. I mean, that's good, but it's not gonna stop Henry eventually when he comes in. I'm not
Free Monarch is just...
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they're supposed to win this game at this point. I think like Connor's still raiding the back, just being really annoying. That economy from all of the old Papi Nutz players is really suffering compared to their opponents. They do have a lot of army here, and they're going to take advantage of the fact that Connor has put in a lot of scholars, doesn't have very much army, so might be able to take the city of Kogen because they just have a lot more army. 5 sieges from Rui. I think that's a good choice. You just want to you have to take advantage of the advantage that you have now, which is army size. But that's not going to solve the problem here. Henry's going to get Monarch, all these units are upgrading, going to get Bombards, Heavy Knights, Arquebusiers, Heavy Pikemen.
Check out the
Dragoons.
left part of the map. You've got a YOLO coming from Man Rui.
Oh yeah, and we do see here G.I. John is going to come and try to help. Rui's trying his best, but I think Connor's
like
production is going to take it over, and the support.
Roy
from,
Jenkins is going to be denied.
Yep. City of Kogen is reduced, but Connor just has too many units at this point. Connor and G.I. John combined have too many units, and the river doesn't really favor Rui here either.
It's like the 6 light horses are attacking 7 pikemen, and the pikemen are running away.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. On the top side, all these sieges are also going to get taken out. Should have retreated the sieges earlier. And all these just being annoying with these units. He should have come with Rui on that side, but instead just going to pick up a couple sugar merchants, which are good, but it's not, it's not anything special.
A little bit of style here by olddirtyh.
Yeah, he's just going in, starting to kill stuff. Realizes there's no army there. Hopefully, going to hurt G.I. John's economy a little bit, which is good. Definitely a good move. Trying to make it something out of a bad situation. But Henry's completely out of control. Going for Science 4 now. I think he's realized how far ahead he is in economy, and so going to get Science 4. Economy and tech, so gonna go for Science 4, cement that tech lead. Looks like olddirtyh has overstayed his welcome a little bit. Attrition burning the troops. Yeah, I don't see how they're gonna get out of this. Henry's gonna take the city easily, irregularly, and there's no way he can fight his army. His army's much larger. Army composition is very strong, and also age difference, Monarch.
I mean, I think that with Spain, there was only so much olddirtyh could do.
Yeah.
I think his best thing would have been just to give Rui and Nutz the opportunity to use the rares provided and to use their nation's powers, but Turks and French were really kind of wasted here, especially with the rare.
They had a good opportunity, but unfortunately just weren't able to take advantage of it, both because of Connor's excellent raids as well as them not being able to stop the said raids in an efficient manner anyways.
Just looks like the Dirty Angels, their tier 1 and tier 2 nations did all the heavy lifting, whereas it just wasn't that reciprocation on the other team's part.
Yeah, what sort of game this is one of the things I've talked about with olddirtyh on the stream a couple times. What sort of game impact does your you can think about your game, how well you're playing in terms of game impact, right? Like how much of an impact are you having on the scope of the game? Well, how much impact has Nutz had on this game as the tier 1 player, as the Turks player? Very little, right? Like what has he done to influence the course of this game? Not very much. What could he do that he couldn't do with any other nation? You know? And so it was...
If you see for Connor's example here, he sent an infantry, a HI, the heavy infantry to kill that merchant first thing at the beginning of the game at Rui's, and because of that, Rui was pretty much garrisoned the entire game until just now.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when you raid AI versus computer, and you shoot the city and all the villagers run into the city for 20 minutes. You know, it's the same effect. Once you raid, once you distract your opponent, their economy and their boom really suffers, and they're not able to raid and to counterattack you if they're hiding the whole game. So I think that the impact of the game really depends on the level of attention you give your opponents and the amount of time you give your opponents to come up with good strategies and to come and kick your ass later.
Yeah, that's true. And in this game, we just saw old Papi Nutz just not being aggressive enough. Unfortunately, it felt like they had really great opportunities with the rares they had and the some of the locations, I guess. But unfortunately, it just didn't end up working out for them. They weren't able to put it together. Now, all of Dirty's Angels are aging or have aged, and nobody's really close on the other side, I think.
Maybe we should see a GG come up from Rui. Instead of resigning, he can go take a cap sack or something.
Yeah.
Like in the last game, the GGs went up, but then the losing team fought back and ended up winning. So.
Yeah, I guess so. So maybe we'll see that.
A little psychological warfare to make up for the blunders here.
Yeah.
And in the end, I'd say that the biggest problem would have been really not using diamonds. I mean, diamonds is like the best thing you could have in this situation, especially on Amazon. When your army is running through rivers, being chased, that healing, the despot it's just very helpful.
Yeah, and GG is called by old Papi Nutz. Well played from the part of on the part of what do you call it? Dirty's Angels. And
GG played.
Nutz says, "See you in semifinals again." Yeah, I mean that is totally possible. Again, old Papi Nutz is not out of this, not out of the tournament quite yet. They are, given that I'm assuming they're losing this one. They'll be 2-1. They can still get into top 8 if they win their next match. Or depending on tiebreakers, I actually don't remember if they lose their next match if they can still get in. We'll have to take a look at that later on. On the side, it looks like the last stand for all the players on the old Papi Nutz side.
Everybody close your eyes. Don't look. Look.
Yeah. Nutz resigns. The only one left standing is Rui. Rui calls GG. And the game is over. Let's take a look at the game stats quickly. Rui did end up with the most kills. Very impressive, despite the lackluster early start. But unfortunately, it was just like I have to add him a bit. He didn't take that much damage aside from losing that early Bison merchant and a couple minor raids. But he just let the opponents. He just let Connor basically raid his allies nonstop. So. I think
Despite the scores, I think that I'd vote that Connor would be the MVP for this game.
yeah, definitely.
Also, you know, he made up for being sort of a useless spud last game. You know, he was
Yeah.
kind of a dead potato. But this game, you know, his raids really prevented Papi Nutz from using furs and silver and wine a couple times.
Yeah, those are all excellent aggressive rares, but Connor, I think Connor did a great job raiding in the back. So props to you, Connor, even though we always like to roast you on stream. All right, GG. That is going to be a 2-0 victory for Dirty's Angels. And that means Dirty's Angels makes it into the top 8. Congratulations to Dirty's Angels. Again, Old Papi Nutz is not quite out of it yet. They are 2-1, so if they win their next match, they can still make it into the top 8. Congratulations, though, to Dirty's Angels. All right, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for watching. This is AS Eat the Pair signing off, and thank you, Phantom, for joining us on stream. It was a pleasure to have you.
Time. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know where Oldie went, but I'm.
Hi, Oldie.
Yeah, Oldie would. If Oldie was here, he'd say bye bye. All right. Hope everybody has. Yeah. Hope everybody has enjoyed the stream, and we will see you.